to remind people of why Miami is the hellhole that it is, and why anyone who goes down there is a fool, and you should get out of there. And I'll tell you why. Another reason.
Don't invest money there in real estate. Don't do it. Do not buy anything south of Lake Okeechobee. You are going to be you'll be eating that.
But I do think that this is going to provide perspective in many ways in terms of why that is the case.
160-acre park in Miami-Dade County was zoned as Parks and Recreation and was also protected by a 100-year land use covenant. Today it's about to be bulldozed for 500 homes in a story that demonstrates no matter the land status and protections, developers and their lawyers will always find a way.
Do you notice everything in Miami-Dade County is over-zoned residential, commercial, industrial? All of it. You can't breathe. Think about it, Jen. Look at this.
I don't understand. Like, I know it's amazing. Like, so guys, look at the amount of neighborhoods and subdivisions and houses around this green area. And that's not enough housing. But yet we already have more than 1 million more houses in this country that are unoccupied. Right. Like, so what they want to just make the money in the short term. They flip it over. The developer then changes their name so they can't be sued for anything. They go away and people are left in an overdeveloped area that does not have an infrastructure or facilities to accommodate it, like schools, hospitals, and such like that.
Correct.
So it's just, this is, and what it's doing to the environment.
This is called the Calusa Rookery, and it's located in the West Kendall area of Miami-Dade County. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, this looks like a golf course, and you'd be right. It was a golf course until 15 years ago. Then it became green space, and when the golfers left, the wildlife moved in.
Because of course it did. Because that's what was there forever until we decided to turn everything south of Lake Okeechobee, which never should have been developed, into a hellscape, when in reality, it was always supposed to be the Everglades protected sanctuary. And that's why they all come back. But that's what's eventually going to happen when the soil that they have built these homes on is not worth shit anymore. And that will happen sooner rather than later. Really, the only people who really want this are the developers to make the money and run. That's why.
Birds formed a multi-species nesting site, or rookery, and that includes egrets, kites, storks, and the state-threatened species like the tricolored heron. The green space was also protected like Fort Knox, so this was great news. Not only was it zoned as Parks and Rec, it was also protected by a land use covenant. The only way to even get rezoning on the table was to break the covenant and get these so-called ring owners who live right around the ring of the park here to agree to the change. Now, at first, all the ring owners were against rezoning, but according to the Miami Herald, the developers got to them. First, they threatened to sue, then they offered them money. According to the Herald, each ring owner was paid up to $300,000 by the developer to agree to lift the land use barrier. With the covenant broken, now all the developer, GL Homes, had to do was to convince the Miami-Dade commissioners to rezone the property. And in 2021, the commissioners voted 10-2 to rezone this space to residential. Now, a group of nearby residents took the issue to court and delayed the construction, but developers are relentless, and GL Homes has just resubmitted plans for approving 540 units on this property. The Florida Wildlife Commission, by the way, isn't helping. They've already given away permits for developers to remove threatened species from the area.
Of course they did. Of course they did.
Yeah, this reminds me of what was the environmental group that the shitbags that endorsed Wasserman Schultz?
Well, Sierra Club.
Sierra Club. Yeah, it's like the Sierra Club. It's the same thing.
They're not a real group. That's not a real thing.
What is the point of claiming to be an environmental group when you just give away the farm? Why? Because they greased the wheels?
They're Dem Party affiliates. Same with the Audubons. It's the same thing. They're not real.
Correct.
Check those out right here. So today, the only thing standing between this green space and 500 homes is a group called Save Calusa. You can visit their website at savecalusa.org, and you can go to my website to sign a petition, which I've linked to at the top of my page. Your voices can still be heard to help save one of the last and biggest green spaces in Miami-Dade County. Thank you so much for watching.
That's a tricolored heron.
That is a
That's a
beautiful-
tricolored heron, and they're not. I mean, we don't see them very often. I've seen them in 10,000 Islands and around Sanibel. You see those, but
Yeah. So GL Homes, which again is no surprise. Usually, I mean, I think that their specialty is 55 plus communities. Oh boy. Oh boy.
what?
Oh boy.
What is it?
Of course. So how are we going to do this? Give me a second, guys.
What are you gonna do?
Give me a second, guys.
I don't know that I like this. I don't think I don't like surprises.
Just brace yourself. Just brace yourself. Breathe in, Jen. Breathe
I don't
in.
know that I can handle this.
Can you handle it?
No, I don't know what you're putting up. I don't want to
Meet.
stroke out.
Meet
What are you doing?
Meet the CEO of GL Homes. The industry icon, Misha Ezrati, president of GL Homes, shares his pathway to success with Jewish Federation president CEO Matt Levin, because of course he's a fucking Zio Jew. Of course he is. They hate.
Well, wait. So what we're talking about, Misha Ezrati is, are you saying, you think he's Israeli? Is he Israeli?
Oh, absolutely. But it's Miami, so there really isn't any surprises here. But this is another example of them just not caring. They don't care about anything. They don't care who they hurt, what they hurt, as long as they can fit. Again, another Jew stereotype, but how can I make more money? And if I have to destroy the environment in the process, so be it. Again, you saw the screenshot, the shot from above. You can't breathe anywhere. And the one green patch of land that they could find. And again, what's West Kendall? West Kendall is one of the more affluent suburbs of the greater Miami area. So it's
but it's endless. It is huge. It is boxes and boxes and boxes and rows and rows and rows. You see it. It's like just endless suburban sprawl.
And this is before October 7th. So again, this gives a little more perspective as to just how bad their business practices are. Business leaders, entrepreneurs, and community stakeholders are invited to listen to a dynamic conversation between two presidents as they share their perspectives on the intersection of success, business development, and philanthropy, or as we learned from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, full-on rapey, or full-on rapists, as we call them. Misha Ezrati, president of GL Homes, will be featured guest as the 2023 industry icon of the business professional division of the Jewish Federation of South Palm County. Matt Levin, president.
Where's Palm County?
It's supposed to be Palm Beach County because this was taking place in Boca Raton. So they missed it. Guess what?
They're that professional. I see.
Oh, that. Absolutely, they are. Matt Levin, president and CEO of the Jewish Federation, will join Ezrati in an engaging dialogue. Guests will enjoy a conversation about current business trends, how to incorporate philanthropy into a successful.
Basically, all that they mean by philanthropy is tax credits. Like that's all they mean is just basically like tax shelters, tax havens. That's all they mean. Philanthropy is just a way for them to pay less money. It's basically slush funds and laundering. That's all they're doing. They're not doing anything philanthropy. What the hell are they doing with philanthropy? Destroying a 15-year-old rookery that's brought species back to live somewhere where they hadn't been able to be.
I want to remind you.
That's your philanthropy?
And I want to remind you something about this Zio scum. This wasn't somebody who just outbid everybody and eventually they gave in. This is a guy who decided to go to hundreds of surrounding homes and bribe all of them.
And by the way, let's be clear what that means. Okay? Because they started by threatening them. They start by threatening them, bullying them, and all of these things. And it probably went on for a really long time. And a lot of those people probably succumbed because they were just sick of living life being constantly harassed by this piece of shit.
Well, what probably ended up happening, what is that? It was a multi-year process in which they secured the land rights. They secured the land rights. They got everything that they needed. They made an assessment, if you will, that if we offer them this amount of money because of how much the land has appreciated in value, we'll still make the same margins that we were anticipating we'd make. Each person, $300,000. And you know what? That's not all that they gave them. They said that 300,000 was the baseline. So you might have people that were given $500,000 to basically bribe them. And what's even more amazing, it wasn't even to bribe them to get them off their property.
No.
It was to get them to let them pillage the land.
They just needed them to agree to break the covenant. And now they have, and once that happened, then they can apply for the rezoning through the city. And this is what it is. And, you know,
what does Palm Beach County have a lot more of than Miami-Dade County? It has a lot more green space. It has a lot more comfortable suburbs, like the most affluent being, of course, Boca Raton, which is where that guy lives. You think he gives a shit about what's going on an hour south of him? Of course not. Why would he?
Well, it's all going to be underwater at some point. And when that happens, the rookery will be just fine. Anybody's wondering.
And that brings the conversation full circle to who I wish we had an opportunity to reference what John Fugel saying, and that is my favorite comedian, which I wouldn't even call a comedian. I would just call him one of the greatest observing commentators who ever lived, and that's George Carlin. The earth is going to shake us off like a bad cold.
I want to shake this off like a bad cold.
And whatever was there prior is going to be one again. And whatever has been built will be no more.